We begin with our comment of the day from Colin, who writes, life lesson number 386, don't point a gun at police while pleading with them to shoot you. You just might get your wish. Neama, if in fact that's the way this went down and that's what we're going to end up hearing in the full body cam when it's released, does this sound like suicide by cop?
Yeah, Vinny, it does. You know, if you're pointing a gun at law enforcement, that's going to be the expected result. And I got to disagree with how Phoenix PD is handling this case, though. You don't release partial video evidence. I know why they do it as a prosecutor or as law enforcement. You want to interview everyone involved before they can tailor their story to the video evidence. So I get it, but you're in a position of restoring the public trust. You should release the body cam footage now, so folks understand what really happened here.
Here's what Lori writes tonight. After all those shots, they're still calling commands. Leslie, let me ask you, is it a problem, all the shots that you hear? Should you only hear one shot? Should you hear two shots? Is there a magic number?
I think that what the public sees when they observe so many shots being taken, a reasonable person could conclude that the person that you shot that many times was probably dead after the first shot. And so, while we don't quite know the full picture because all of the video camera footage has not yet been shown, the problem is one of the problems is that you have someone in the public who was recording all of these shots, and to the general public that just may not sit too well with them in terms of a reasonable number of shots being fired.
Alvin tonight saying all the facts would help, right? We don't have all the facts. They haven't all been released. Also, the suspect is deceased and his side won't be heard. So the question is redundant. My opinion is that when multiple officers open fire, it is typically justified. Dave Arenberg, do you agree there? There's different types of police shootings, but in the ones where it's more than one officer firing, typically those ones are more likely to be justified?
The Supreme Court standard is that you look through the eyes of the law enforcement officer through the prism of reasonableness. You got to put yourself in that person's shoes at that instant. If that person had a reasonable fear for his or her own life or the life of other innocents, then they can use deadly force. It doesn't matter whether there are 20 other officers shooting or just one. That's not part of the calculus.
Judy tonight, if the guy pulled the gun on the cops, they would assume he intended to shoot at them. He was told to put the gun down and he didn't. So unless there is a different view on the body cams, then yes, the shooting was justified. Neama, do you think it's possible that police would say one thing and the body camera would reveal something else if and when it gets released?
Oh, absolutely. I love my men and women in blue, but our prosecuted officers, they can lie just like any other civilian witness. In fact, there's jury instructions that say just that here in California. So it's possible.